$19,000. One phone call. No boat. He'd wired the money for a clean old cruiser, then called to insure her, and the underwriter heard 1988 and said his company won't touch that hull, not at any price. Now that man did nothing wrong. He bought a solid boat at a fair number, the exact kind this channel tells you to hunt for. What nobody told him is that she cleared every test except the one that gets run after you've already paid. Because something is happening to cabin cruisers right now, and it's why the dealers holding them are quietly going gray. The new boat salesman down the row will call these old cruisers money pits and steer you to something shiny with a payment plan, because that shiny one is his margin and your depreciation. But he's not even the man who hurts you this time. The one who doesn't work at the dealership at all. He works at an insurance desk in a harbor master's office, and he's decided your boat is finished, and neither has to say it to your face until the check clears. So today I'm walking you through 6 used cabin cruisers, worst to best, and grading every one on the test that actually matters now. Not how she looks, not even how she runs. Whether an underwriter will still write her and a marina will still slip her. Because a boat you can't insure is a boat you can't dock, and a boat you can't dock is a boat you can't sell. Stay with me, because the best one on this list is the cheapest to protect, too. Let's get into it. First, why this is happening now. In 2026, used boats are roughly 80% of everything that changes hands on the water, better than 200,000 of them last year. The market's soft, and a good clean used boat still moves in about 165 days. But the old gas cabin cruisers don't move in 165 days. They sit. And they sit for a reason that has nothing to do with the boat and everything to do with the 2 companies behind her. Start with insurance. Plenty of standard carriers won't even look at a boat once she's past 20 or 30 years old, and the ones that will demand a fresh out-of-water survey before they write a single line. Past that age, a lot of them won't give you agreed value at all, only actual cash value, which means the day she sinks, they hand you a depreciated check and a shrug. Then the marina. This part is new, and it's real. All across the high-demand coast this year, marinas are quietly turning away boats over 30 years old. No law behind it, just their own insurance company drawing the line and the harbor master enforcing it. One old boat gets grandfathered into her slip, but the day the owner sells her, she has to leave. Put those 2 together, and you see the trap the dealer is stuck in. We've done videos on why the outboard dealers can't move their motors, parts drying up, and why the sportfish dealers can't move theirs, the bank drawing a line at hull age. This is a third wall, and the meanest one yet, because it comes from the insurer and the harbor master, the 2 people the salesman never has to stand next to. Let me take you through it, boat by boat. We start at number 6, the Sea Ray 380 aft cabin. Big, boxy, comfortable, a proper little motor yacht with a master cabin aft and room to sleep the family. The first ones came out in 1989, and those early hulls are the cheapest. You'll see one around $18,000 to $20,000, which looks like an awful lot of boat for the money. And it is. That's the problem. She's 36 years old now, with twin gas engines, a pair of big 454S or Mercruiser 380S, drinking hard every time you push the throttles. To an underwriter, that's a checklist of everything he hates. Old hull, gasoline in an enclosed bilge, high replacement value, and a fuel bill that says you won't run her much, so she'll sit and rot at the dock. He prices her like the risk she is, or he passes. And the marina looks at that same 36-year-old number and more, says it's full. And the cruel part is this. There's a beautiful freshwater 380 out there, low hours, 1 owner, and she's still hard to move, because the buyer who can afford her often can't insure her, and the one who could doesn't want a gas motor yacht. That is not a boat that aged out of the market. That is a boat that aged out of the policy. The dealer knows it. That's why she's been sitting on his lot since last spring. Number 5, the Cruiser's Yachts, 3,370 Esprit. A sleek express cruiser in her day. Twin Crusader 454S, dirt cheap now, $13,000 to $20,000 for a sound one. Sounds like the deal of the century. But add up what it costs to protect her, and it falls apart. Say you find one at $16,000. Before an insurer will write her, they want a current survey. And a proper survey on a 33-footer runs $800 to $1,200. Then they offer actual cash value only, because she's old. So the most they'll ever pay if she's lost is maybe $12,000, $13,000 on a boat you're going to sink real money into. You're spending $1,200 in paperwork to protect an asset the insurer already decided is barely worth protecting. The boat's worth less than the trouble it takes to keep her legal at the dock. That's why she sits. Not because she's a bad boat, she's a fine weekend cruiser. She sits because the arithmetic of insuring a cheap old gas boat quit making sense, and every buyer who runs it walks. The dealer keeps cutting the price, and it doesn't help, because the problem was never the price. Number 4, the Chris-Craft Catalina 381. Now this one stings me a little, because the Chris-Craft name means something, and the 381 is a handsome aft cabin boat, twin 454S, a real master stateroom, built to cross a big lake in comfort. You'll find them from $15,000 up to right around $50,000. But two things stack against her at the insurance desk. 1, the Chris-Craft name has been bought, sold, and run through bankruptcy so many times that the company behind these old hulls is, for parts and real support, essentially gone. 2, she's gasoline, and she's well past that 25-year line. So when you call for a policy, you get the same answer the cruiser's buyer got: actual cash value. Take it or don't. An actual cash value on a 40-year-old boat is a trap with a bow tied on it. You pay premiums for years. She has an engine fire one summer, which gas boats do, and the check that lands covers a fraction of what you've got in her. The Catalina isn't junk. Somebody who keeps her in fresh water, insures her right the first time, and never changes. Marinas can love her for a decade, but the day he sells, the next fella hits the same wall, and that wall is what empties a dealer's lot. And that right there, the insurance wall nobody warned you about until the money's gone, is exactly the kind of thing I put in the Boats Worth Buying playbook. It walks you through making one phone call to a marine specialist before you fall for a hull. So you learn whether a boat is even insurable, at what value, and on what terms, before you wire a dime. A few dollars for that book, against the $20,000 or $30,000 a boat nobody will cover, quietly costs you the day you try to leave the dock. The link's in the description, and there's a QR code on screen if you'd rather scan it. If you'd sooner work it all out on your own, everything I just said still stands. Number 3, the Wellcraft 3200 Street, Tropez. A 32-foot express cruiser, twin gas V8s, a cabin below with a V-berth and a head. Exactly the kind of first cruiser a young family buys. And she's cheap. I've seen sound ones, under $10,000, one listed clean below book value just to be rid of it. Here's where the gasoline really bites. And it isn't just the fuel dock. Gas sits in that bilge as a vapor, and vapor is what an underwriter is truly afraid of, because a gas boat can go up in a way a diesel simply will not. So the premium on an old gas express runs higher than you'd ever guess. And if you keep her anywhere near a hurricane coast, Florida, the Gulf, the Carolinas, you get hit with a named storm deductible that isn't a flat number. It's a percentage of the boat's value, 5, even 10%, out of your own pocket before the company pays a dime. On a boat like this, the deductible alone can run a couple $1,000s. Stack the higher premium on the storm deductible on the actual cash value ceiling, and a $10,000 boat starts costing like a much dearer one just to keep insured. She's a lovely weekender the day you buy her. She's a headache every renewal after. Before I give you the 2 that actually pass this test, if grading these boats the way an insurance company does is useful to you, do me the one favor that keeps this channel running. Tap like and subscribe, because I put these out every week and the next one's already halfway written. Now let's get to the good ones. Number 2, and this is the turn, the Mainship 34. This is the boat the underwriter actually likes, and I want you to understand why. Because it's the whole lesson of this video in one hull. She's got a single diesel down there, an old Perkins, sipping about 2 gallons an hour at trawler speed. 1 engine, not 2. Diesel, not gasoline. So no explosive vapor in the bilge and the insurance man sleeps easier. Solid fiberglass hull, full keel, a John Cherubini design that's been proven for 40 years, and a big, active owners club that keeps the records and the parts flowing. Every single thing that made those first 4 boats a problem at the insurance desk, this boat solves. Diesel instead of gas. Simple instead of complicated. Documented instead of mysterious. So the carrier writes her without a fight, often at agreed value, and the marina doesn't blink, because a well-kept Mainship at $30,000 is exactly the boat everybody wants to see in the slip. You'll find a good one from the low 20s up to the mid 40s. That is no accident. Think about that, because it runs the other way too. Every boat that's hard to insure is telling you plainly how hard she'll be to sell when it's your turn to get out. And number 1, the boat I'd put my own name on the policy for, the Californian 34 LRC. Long-range cruiser, one of the very few trawler-styled boats built right here in the States instead of shipped from Taiwan. Solid fiberglass hull, twin Perkins diesels, and she'll loaf along at 7 knots on about 3 gallons an hour, or pick up her skirts and run when you ask her to. You'll see a clean one from the low 30s up towards $70,000, and every dollar of that holds, because there's a real market of people who know exactly what she is. One thing, and it's the kind of specific that keeps you out of trouble. Some of these came with Cat 3208S instead of the Perkins, and the 3208 is a fine engine, but a dear one to marinize and work on. A riser set alone can run you $4,000. Get the Perkins boat. With the Perkins under the floor, this is a diesel, solid glass, American-built cruiser that an underwriter writes gladly, a marina welcomes, and the next buyer lines up for. She passes every test, the first 6 failed. She's the one you buy and never once have to apologize for to a single company standing behind her. What would I buy with my own money? The Californian with the Perkins, in a heartbeat, and never lose an hour of sleep over a renewal. But if my budget said no, I'd walk straight to the Mainship 34, because a single old diesel is the easiest boat on this list to protect and the last one any company ever turns away. The lesson under all 6 of these isn't about age. It's about who stands behind the boat beside you. Call the insurance company before you fall in love, not after, because these days the underwriter grades the hull before you ever get the chance. Make that one call first, and no salesman on any dock can sell you a boat the water won't let you keep.